Okay, I'm working on the Tesoro Tejon here. You see the alternate disc and disc level. Those little knobbies tend to move on you while you're detecting. They tend to, especially if you're in a place like in a cornfield and you hit some stalks and stuff, the knobbies tend to turn. Like last week I had my disc level set at right where that notch is, and I see that notch right there. Then as I was going along, about half an hour later, this thing was way over here, and it was knocking off all my 5-cent targets. So I got some, hold on, I'll show you in a minute. I got some of these little ring washers to put on the bottom of the shaft. You take the knobby off, put these in the back, put the knobby back on, and it'll add like a little resistance there, so to stop the disc levels from moving on both the discriminations. Get this over there. I had already taken the knobby off. I'll show you here. See where I have that rubber O-ring there. And all you gotta do is put this knobby back on. Put a little pressure on it with your thumb and screw the knobby on. We got the little washer on, and it's you have a lot more resistance now when you're turning the knobby. Now what you might have to do after is do an air test. You know, like put it on the nickel, see if it's still picking up the nickel. Then you'll have to back off till you get the right position of the marker. So now we have the little washers behind the disc level and the alt disc level. It's a lot better. It's not as loose, so it ain't gonna move on me as easy. And that's just a little mod that you can do at home to stop that from moving on you. Okay, now to adjust your sensitivity after you put the washer on, it's just a matter of pulling the knob off, putting it in alt disc, pushing the little lever forward here, taking the nickel, swiping it over, and if it doesn't discriminate the nickel off at the nickel, let me show you the light there. If you're on the nickel and it's still beeping on you, you gotta back off, unscrew the little screw, take the knob off, move it over here, put it back on, screw it on, until when you get the nickel on, when you get the all disc on the nickel, I'll show you. I'll see if I can show that to you. You press the button forward, and you go like this with a nickel, and you ain't gonna pick it up. But if you go slightly under the nickel, it should pick it up like this. So then you should be all set. But anyway, that's my little modification with the washers. And by the way, these were a little bit too small. I wish I could tell you the size. I just asked for the smallest ones. But I would ask for the next size up, because these here were a little bit too small for this demonstration. But anyway, that's how you stop that little knob from moving too much on you when you're detecting.